Hi, uh, this is Maya, and we're the Explorer Squad team. This is a tech podcast where we explore emerging technologies that are changing the way we live, work, and play. We discuss the latest trends and innovations and their impact on various industries and the ethical and social implications of these advancements. Myself, I'm a serial entrepreneur and a fintech expert with over 20 years of experience. I'm currently co founding and launching a Web3 startup called Gigi's One.
Hi, I'm Maya. I'm a 17-year-old student from Montreal, and I'm preparing for graduation. I'm interested in pursuing my studies in neurology for my future.
Yes. Today we're going to talk about ChatGPT. So let's go. First, okay. So first, what is ChatGPT? Everyone nowadays talking about ChatGPT. So what is it? It's basically a virtual assistant powered by artificial intelligence, a large language model developed by OpenAI, trained on massive amounts of text from the internet, including books, articles, and other sources. ChatGPT stands for Generative Pre-trained Transformers, and it's basically a state-of-the-art language processing AI model developed by OpenAI, and it's capable of generating human-like text and has a wide range of applications, including language translation and generating text for applications such as chatbots. Now, as a language model, the primary function is to process natural language inputs from users and generate appropriate responses. It's designed to understand and respond to a wide range of questions and queries on a variety of topics, using a vast knowledge base and language processing capabilities to provide accurate and helpful information. So just to talk about this, it's kind of a new interface. So the older interface was like search, where we search for items, and Google can find you resources. Now, instead of like present you with different resources, it actually find the answers for you from its own database.
hmm I do want to ask a question. I don't
Yeah.
know. So I want to know what it means. What is a language model?
Yes. Large language model in AI is basically a type of artificial neural network, which we're going to talk about in a bit. Basically, is trained to generate human-like language. It uses vast amount of text to learn the statistical pattern and relationship between words, and then uses the knowledge to generate new text that is similar to what human might or say. Okay, so if I put this, so basically, AI is basically depends a lot on statistics and probabilities. It's a lot of math. So basically, they build relationship between different words, and they see what's the probability of a word that comes after another word. So this is they have something called here adjusting. Uh, there's adjusting height, and so basically the weight. Sorry. So the weight of items is it's probability of relationship between different inputs.
hmm
So uh, uh,
I
natural language processing called NLP applications,
mhm.
chatbots are actually now using large language models. ChatGPT 4 has about 175 billion parameters, and it's one of the largest models. Now, actually, other companies are releasing even bigger than that,
Mm.
and they can optimize these models by having more accurate, focused models on specific topics.
All right. Another question.
Yeah.
So generative pre-trained transformer, like what does that mean? Like.
Okay. It's basically it is a type of a large language model,
hmm
and uses transformer-based architecture. It's something designed by OpenAI, and it's basically they design this neural network or this little map here in a more optimized way to look more natural.
So, like in simple terms.
Yeah. Okay. So it's like this big dictionary
hmm
that knows how to use words.
hmm
Uh, so I'll give another a simple example. Let's say it uses. it has this big reference, and if you ask it, if you type "I love," it predicts you because it finds a lot of references in its database that people always say "I love you." Let's say so, it predicts
Oh,
you as the next word.
okay.
But if you don't use "you," if you use "I love," let's say two, now it's gonna see what usually comes after two. So let's say to eat. So it predicts eat as the most likelihood of a word that comes after.
Okay.
Yeah.
Um, I also, you said you'd go back to neural network. I'd like you
Yes.
to elaborate on what a neural network is.
Yeah. Neural network is a machine learning algorithm.
Hmm.
Um, it's designed after the structure of a human brain and consists of interconnected nodes. So you see, these are the interconnected nodes. These nodes are called artificial neurons, and they work together to analyze and process data. The neural network receives input data. So this is what the user inputs in here. And then it processes it through a series of hidden layers. These are the different layers and generate the output. Okay. As I said, it depends a lot on statistics and probability to kind of predict what is the likelihood of an item being connected to another item. But the funny thing, it mimics in some ways how the brain works.
Mm. That's why it's neural network. It's like,
Yes. So let's continue. So let's talk about the background of OpenAI. It's basically founded in 2015 by a group of influential tech leaders. You know, most people know Elon Musk, but there's also Sam Altman who became famous now after, OpenAI. There's others. This is Sam Altman. This is Elon Musk. There's Greg Brookman, Il Sutskever, John Skolman, I think. I hope I'm pronouncing it properly, and Wijish Zaremba. So these are the founders for the company. The company was created with the goal of developing AI in a way that benefits humanity as a whole, while also prompting ethical practices and ensuring that the technology is safe and secure. So that was the original vision of the company.
I have a question. So,
Yeah.
like, which one, like from the founders, who actually developed the OpenAI? Like,
Yeah, good question. So who actually worked on it? Elon Musk obviously didn't work. Actually, the first person to work. I mean, not the first person. Greg Brookman. He was used to be a CTO of Stripe. Stripe is a famous company that process payments. He
mhm.
served as the CEO for OpenAI from 2016 to 2020, and he actually oversaw the development of the platform. And then Ili Statskever, he previously worked at Google Brain, and he helped develop TensorFlow. TensorFlow is one of Google, important AI application or library. Was one of the key architects for the Open AI platform, and he focused on deep learning frameworks. There's John Skolman. He previously worked at OpenAI, and now he's a professor at US Brick, but he worked with them, and he helped develop OpenAI reinforcement learning algorithms and he also co-founded the OpenAI robotics team. So they have a robotics team, and he kind of worked on in reinforcement learning. What is reinforcement learning? Meaning it learns from your input. So let's say you ask a question and you tell it the question was good or not. This input from you, as a result of its response to you, kind of help it becomes better for other people.
Mhm.
And finally, the person who's famous is Sam Altman, who's a well-known entrepreneur and investor, was the original investor of OpenAI and served as CEO from 2020 until today, actually. Microsoft invested in the beginning in 2019 about 1 billion, and then invested again in January 2023 about 10 billion. So Microsoft invested a lot of money in OpenAI.
Mhm.
So let's talk about Sam Altman, who's the current CEO. He's young. He's 37 years old. He's born in 85. Um, he's Stanford University educated. In fact, he didn't continue. He dropped out. He's from St. Louis, Missouri. In 2005, at the age of 19, he co-founded a company called Looped. location-based social networking mobile application. So the idea is basically you can know where your friends are and you can basically communicate with them based on location. And then he became a part-time partner at YC in 2011. Then in 2014, put it here, 2014, he was named president of YC by co-founder Paul Graham. In 2019, he left Y Combinator and focused on OpenAI as CEO. He also launched a blockchain company called WorldCoin. Actually, the WorldCoin is similar to a project I'm working on. And also, he is an angel investor.
Mm-hmm. So one question.
Yeah.
So what is YC and like why are they important?
Yeah. Y Combinator, or short for YC, is a startup accelerator and venture capital firm that provides seed funding, mentorship, and resources to early stage startups. It was founded in 2005 by Paul Graham, Jessica Livingston, and Trevor Blackwell, and Robert Morris, and it's based in Mountain View, California. Okay. Startups that participate in YC programs receive a funding amount in exchange for percentage of equity of their company. So let's say you have an idea, you present to them, they give you, nowadays they give like something $500,000 for exchange, let's say for 10% of your company. And in exchange, they give you mentorship from experienced entrepreneurs and industry experts, and they give you access to a network of investors and resources. So they help you improve your company and then be able to connect with investors so you can raise more money. And YC have a huge impact on the tech scene. They help many companies, many of them to become successful companies like Airbnb, Dropbox, Reddit, Stripe, and many others. Actually, hundreds of companies they help start. They are very picky on picking companies. They're not easy. And they want to make sure companies have a good shot in becoming successful very quickly. So, an interesting fact: the total valuation of YC companies, like they have helped companies now actually valued over 65 billion. Imagine they created so many companies, and their total value now is 65 billion, um, like the companies we mentioned.
So I want to know what angel investing is.
Yeah. Angel investing is a type of venture capital investment that is made by individual rather than professional investment. So imagine you become rich and you
Mm-hmm.
want to help other people, but instead of you help them through a company you own, you can directly people can reach out to you. You like the project, you can fund them as a personal between you and them. So it's called an angel. So you become an angel to them. You help them. So basically, they're wealthy people who's willing to invest their money in early stage, usually risky companies. And usually, because it's a single person, these investments are not very big. They're in the tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars usually. But there's of course exceptions. Altman, as we mentioned earlier, he's an angel investor. He invested many companies as a person, including companies that also YC invested in, like Airbnb, Stripe, Reddit. So it seems that he knows how to pick good companies to invest in. Yeah.
Okay. Well, so I want to know also the difference between like angel investing and venture capital firms.
Yes. Good question. So, venture capital firms is basically it's a group of investors that they come together and they form a venture capital. They usually like the difference is number one, the type of capital. Angel is an individual, so it's your own money, but venture capital, it's a pool of investors. Okay, usually venture capital invest more money, and they usually invest in later stages. So when your company becomes a little bit bigger, so they come in when you're, let's say, they call it like seed or round A or B. So when your company becomes a bit bigger and is generating revenue, they can come in, they give you more money to help you grow. But angel investors usually they come early and the amount is a little bit less because of the nature of the person. It's one person only investing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just take a quick look on the different the original founders, um, Elon Musk, and we mentioned them. Right now, I think only Altman. Yes, Mike.
You can finish. I'll ask right after.
Yeah, yeah. So currently, I think most of them they're not working hands-on, except for San Altman.
Oh, okay. Well, so I have a question relating to Elon Musk.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure I heard that he like doesn't like OpenAI anymore, and I'd like to know what happened. Um,
yeah. Good question. It's not like he doesn't like. He wasn't happy with what happened with it. So basically, Musk said that OpenAI was created as an open source. This is why it's called open, and a non-profit company to serve to become a counterweight to Google. But now it became it became closed source and for-profit company. And so he thinks, not he thinks it, he sees that the company changed its original vision and mission. So he stepped down from being on the board in 2018, and he doesn't own any shares.
mm, okay.
Another interesting thing, Elon Musk expressed this content, like as you said, actually, he mentioned he was not very happy in many occasions on Twitter. Um, one thing he didn't like the fact that OpenAI received a lot of donations in the tens of millions, in fact, maybe even more than 100 million in donations, and they use this money to become a for-profit. So they think this is not ethical. So this is one of the things that kind of annoyed him.
Mm,
Um, and I heard recently that he's thinking of maybe through his X group, which on Twitter, to kind of create an alternative to OpenAI. So like
mm,
with the original vision that OpenAI was supposed to be.
uh, um, so,
So yeah.
oh, sorry, keep going.
Okay, so let's look at key events in the company. We mentioned this. Microsoft invested about 1 billion 2019. Um, it became for profit after that, or actually just before that. It became in 2020. They had some in the beginning. Actually, recently they had a security breach, so people were able to penetrate their security systems. They released ChatGPT 4, which is more optimized and better model than the first one. And to use this one, you have to pay, so it's a paid version. And then the whole landscape exploded with alternatives. I personally use a lot Google Bard, which is a very good one. Meta release an open source LLAMA, I think source large language model, something like that. So they have a very good alternative. Amazon, they have one. As we mentioned, Twitter is working on one, and then there's a lot of open source projects that are actually coming out, and some of them actually in the market. What's interesting is that Meta version is actually so good that it's almost and it's open source, and they have data, and like you have data sets that you can use to create your own ChatGPT like experience, and it's totally free, and you can install it and run it on your own servers, and you can create something very similar to ChatGPT.
Mhm.
We'll do some statistics, interesting statistics. So ChatGPT 2, which wasn't really publicly released, it had 1.5 billion parameter, and 175, which is much bigger. ChatGPT 4, it's even bigger, but not in the data, more in the optimization of the data.
Mm,
It actually hit 100 million active users very quickly in January. From like maybe something like within a week, it reached a million, and then in a couple of months, it reached 100 million users. Um, now, here, okay, 100 million active users. Interesting thing with the use cases, it can be fine tuned for a variety of language tasks. So, for example, you can fine tune it to become a translator, or it can summarize big documents. Um, it can also write stories. There's also a version that can, it that can draw things. Um, the key thing to AI is context, meaning understanding the big picture of what you're trying to get from it. Also, another interesting thing, it's available through API. So if you are a developer and you want to use natural language processing, so you can use them as a backend. So you can send them queries from your mobile, and you can build your own custom applications. Let's say if you want to build a mobile application. Of course, ChatGPT have a lot of limitations. For example, and I think Google have better version because Google is kind of connected to the internet and give you all up-to-date data. ChatGPT, up to recently, it only can give you data up to 2021. Sometimes I can actually answer you confidently with an answer that looks correct, but it's actually not correct. And so this can confuse some users. A lot of people complain about that. Um, some people were able to bypass some of the content policy and generate harmful interactions. Like, for example, people were able to kind of hack the interface and make it, let's say, write viruses, which can become
Mm.
harmful for people. Um, what else? So so ChatGPT is a big game changer in the world of internet computer and the future, and what we're seeing so far is just the beginning. A lot of amazing things, and maybe could be dangerous things that can happen for the future.
Mm.
So Maya, do you have any comments or something?
Um, I mean, I find that like when I use ChatGPT by myself,
Yeah,
that it has a lot of like because you can just input what you want directly. I
yeah,
find that it was especially helpful for like let's say translation.
yes,
I was able to like figure out how to more accurately translate something because it has like so many information on like that language and also certain dialects of that language and how the grammar let's say changes in certain regions. So when I was like let's say learning about French for a French project, I found it was a lot more accurate than just Google Translate, which directly
yes.
translates.
It is actually. Did you try Bard?
Bard? No, it's not available in Canada yet.
No, it is available.
Really? I
Yeah,
wait. I can open it right now. Let's
yeah.
see.
Try to open it up here. Let me open up myself.
Mhm.
Let me. Actually, we can show everybody
Okay.
how it works here.
Unfortunately, it says Bard isn't currently supported in your country. Stay tuned.
No Bard.
Bard is not available in Canada yet.
No, it's available, Maya. So are you connected? Are you connected through your Gmail account,
Yeah,
your personal Gmail account?
yeah.
Hmm. Okay, it's weird because it's available here. Okay, I wonder why. Okay, all right. So that was the first podcast on ChatGPT. I hope
Mhm.
it was the first experimentation. We're just experimenting. We're doing it for ourselves to learn and to experiment and try new things.
And talk about things that we like as well.
Exactly. Okay. Thanks, Maya.
Thanks, Baba.
Thanks. Take care. Bye bye.
Bye.